Hey everyone, and welcome to the Action Hero Podcast. We explore the most awesome and addictive action-packed stories out there.
It's going to be a wild ride.
You said it. Today we're looking at Storm Symphony. So get ready for a bullied musician.
Oh, I love a good underdog story.
Me too. This one, she discovers her violin can summon serious storms, like crazy powerful storms.
This is more than just cool powers, though. Storm Symphony goes beyond that. It explores, what happens when we find strength and how the choices we make, force us to confront some really, really tough situations, some difficult situations.
Absolutely, it's going to be a good one. I'm Adrian.
I'm Julia.
And we are here to break down Storm Symphony for you. Get ready for, elemental magic, a secret society of guardians.
Oh!
And, of course, a villain who wants to control nature. Full-on control nature. We're talking epic showdowns.
Yeah.
Seriously intense musical battles.
I am so ready for this.
So, okay, we meet Emily. She's a teenage violinist dealing with bullies.
Ugh, the worst. But, it's a classic. Underdog. Setup.
Yeah. But things get interesting fast because during one of these bullying episodes, she starts playing her violin, but with so much raw energy, so much emotion.
Oh, wow.
That a lightning storm breaks out.
Whoa, it's like a really cool take on elemental powers. Like the trope, that trope. Her music isn't just summoning the storm. It's like an expression of everything she's feeling inside, all those emotions.
It's all bottled up. And then out of nowhere, this mysterious woman, Saren, she shows up and she's like a total badass.
Oh, I love it already.
Right. And she reveals that Emily, she's not just talented, she's like a Soundweaver.
A Soundweaver.
Part of an ancient order.
What?
That uses music to keep nature in balance, the balance of all things.
That is so cool. Okay, so that's where the real conflict comes in, right?
Yeah.
Saren, she tells Emily about this other Soundweaver, Thaddeus, and he's a rogue Soundweaver. Basically, he's like a musical supervillain.
Oh, yeah. He's bad news.
And he wants to use Emily's power, all that raw power, to control nature for, his own evil plans. He's not messing around.
Nope. So just imagine this, right? Emily starts training, but, she's training to control water, fire, wind.
Oh, my gosh.
All through music. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like a ballet of flames.
Mm.
Or a tidal wave.
Yeah.
But it's set to a violin concerto.
That is mind-blowing. But it's not just, learning these cool tricks. There's this tension between, harmony and discord. In Saren's order, they want to, work with nature, work with it. But Thaddeus, he's all about domination, control, bending it to his will.
And Emily,
Yeah.
stuck right in the middle.
No.
She has to figure out, does she stick to the old ways? Or does she fight fire with fire? And their first showdown, you're not going to believe this.
Tell me.
It's at a fancy gala. Talk about an epic setting, right?
That's insane. Okay, what happens?
So Thaddeus, he's using his cello.
Oh, of course he plays the cello.
To create, total chaos. And Emily, she has to counter him with her violin. We're talking shattering chandeliers, wind and water, clashing against each other.
Wow.
It's a full-blown musical battle. Imagine that.
This scene, it takes music as a weapon, the idea of music as a weapon, it takes it to a whole new level, where the melodies, they're not just sounds, they're tangible forces of destruction.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But things escalate quickly, okay? Because Emily realizes Saren's order, they're not strong enough to stop this guy. He's too powerful. And he conjures up this massive typhoon, like a giant typhoon. So Emily, she's forced to tap into the raw, destructive power of her music, even though it goes against everything she's been taught, everything she believes in.
Oh, that's got to be tough. It's a powerful moment, for the listener. It makes you think, What would you do if you're Emily? Would you compromise your values to protect the world? What would you do? Tough choices.
Really makes you think. The final battle is just insane. Emily, she's standing on the beach facing this raging storm. The waves are crashing, the wind is howling, and she just unleashes this symphony. But it's a symphony of pure fury. Lightning strikes are guided by her music. Every note is a weapon against Thaddeus.
It sounds incredible.
It's this wild, untamed force of nature just taking him down.
This is where we see the cost of victory. She saves the world, but her music, it was once so beautiful and harmonious. It's forever changed. It carries this weight now, the weight of her struggle, the echoes of destruction.
Powerful stuff.
It really is.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the sacrifices people make, what they have to give up.
Definitely. The story really shows how Emily changes because of all this. It's not just about her powers. It's about her facing the reality of being a hero, those tough choices.
Right, like it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Exactly.
It feels like she grows up so much
Yeah.
in such a short time.
Mhm.
And the story, like, really makes you feel for her, dealing with these heavy burdens.
That's what makes Storm Symphony so good. It's not just about action, it's about responsibility and sacrifice.
Yeah.
The weight of power, you know?
Definitely. Speaking of power, let's talk about Thaddeus for a second.
Oh, Thaddeus!
He's like the classic big bad villain, but with a twist.
He's fascinating. He's not, like, just evil for no reason. He's like a reflection of Emily in a way. Someone with the same potential, but he chose a different path, you know?
Yeah, it's like he represents the dark side of what she could become.
Exactly.
And the way he uses his cello to create all that chaos, it's so, like, visually striking. When you read it, you can just, like, picture it.
Oh, absolutely. The story uses music so well to set the mood, build tension. Thaddeus's music, it's described as, like, distorted, you know? Discordant. It reflects his twisted goals.
Yeah, and that contrast with Emily's music,
Right.
so powerful.
Right.
At first, her music is all about harmony and beauty, but as she's, like, forced to fight Thaddeus, it gets more raw, more powerful. You can, like, feel the shift.
You can almost hear her internal struggle in the music, right? Like she's trying to hold on to her values, her belief in harmony, but the conflict, it pushes her to her absolute limits.
And that leads to some pretty impressive battles.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a musical showdown at a fancy gala,
Come on.
that's a brilliant setting.
It's such a clever juxtaposition. You have this, like, elegant, sophisticated environment, and then boom, this eruption of, like, chaotic elemental forces. It's like the story is showing us that even in the most civilized places, there's this hidden potential for untamed power.
Right, like beneath the surface.
Exactly.
And that final battle on the beach, breathtaking. The way she uses the fury of the storm to defeat Thaddeus, it's terrifying and exhilarating at the same time.
It's a visual spectacle, but it's also a turning point for her. She embraces a level of power she never wanted, but it's like she learns that sometimes you have to fight fire with fire.
And that's where the story leaves us, with this big question. What happens to Emily next? How will she handle all this power? Will she find a balance between the harmony she used to represent and the destructive force she had to unleash?
It's such a good question. That open ending, it's so effective. It leaves you wanting more. You start to imagine what might happen next, what her future holds.
It's like the story doesn't really end when you close the book. It keeps going in your imagination.
It really does. Yeah, it makes you wonder, will she ever be able to play beautiful music again? Or is it like, will it always be tainted by, that destructive power?
Yeah, will she ever find that peace again?
Right.
It's like she becomes a different kind of hero. One who's not afraid to use, like, the destructive side of her abilities. If that's what it takes to save the world. She's not afraid anymore.
It challenges our idea of, like, what a hero is, right?
Totally.
It shows that sometimes doing the right thing, it means making really, really hard choices.
Yeah.
Even if it means compromising what you believe in, what you value.
Yeah, and it makes you realize that the line between good and evil, it's not always so clear.
Right. It's not black and white.
It's a lot of gray area. And sometimes, like, the greatest heroes, they're the ones who can walk that line, navigate all that complexity.
Storm Symphony, it's a story that, like, stays with you.
It does.
It makes you really think about power and responsibility and sacrifice, what it really means to be a true hero.
Could have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a story, action-packed story with a powerful message, an amazing heroine, you got to check out Storm Symphony.
Yeah. And if you want more stories like this, incredible stories of adventure, amazing abilities, make sure to rate and follow the Action Hero podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with another thrilling tale. Until then, keep those imaginations going. And remember, everyone has the potential to be a hero in their own way,
Yeah.
It's got to find it.
Got it. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh.
Use it wisely.